My name is Melissa. Thank you for having us here and giving us the opportunity to share our thoughts about a Bloomington neighborhood. Our highlights included the awareness of learning about the workability in the eyes of all people, regardless of age or ability. We enjoyed feeling safe with someone, but probably not alone. The landscaping of art, flowers, and shrubs were beautiful. On the Beeline Trail, we liked the brick sidewalks, adequate lighting, and safe crosswalks. We enjoyed the walk around very much. The brick-colored textured ramps provided a safe, accessible environment for all people. We also realized that on the Beeline Trail, a visual impaired person could not read or see the historical sign. There would be advantages to have a button with a recording so all could access the information. We also observed that a person in the wheelchair could not throw his trash away because he could not get close enough. In addition, it was way too high for him. Although the lighting was good on the Beeline, we noticed that the nearby neighborhood did not have adequate lighting. Our community walk proved to be an enlightening experience. Thank you so much.
Okay. Problem. Cars were parked at a business in such a way that people were forced to walk into the street to get around them. Solution: change the parking so that cars don't block the walkway. Problem: people in wheelchairs will have trouble both crossing the street to get to the bus stop because of no crosswalk or curb cuts, and will have trouble getting onto the bus off the grass on the buffer and the closed parking of cars. Okay, solution: make a cement path from the curb to the street. Have cars park further away and enforce parking rules. Put in a crosswalk and curb cuts.
If you see the sign there, you can actually park right up to that sign. And then there's only about, a bus length, barely a bus length in front of that.
Problem: there were curb cuts, but no crosswalk at a busy intersection. We were forced to go way around to cross safely.
So maybe I'll talk about this one, okay?
Yeah.
I had to push it way around to get to that intersection. And it's pretty easy for me. I'm a big guy, I can do it, but again, somebody a lot smaller doing it would be a lot of work. And he's got another aid that's that big. She could roll him around, but that would be a lot for her to do to get him all in action to get across that street. And there were curb cuts there to cross, but there was no crosswalk. Or it was a busy street with a lot of cars going by.
Because we tried to go across to the little bakery, the Chelsea Street Bakery, and because we wanted to go down that street, we had to walk 2 blocks north across the street, and come back 2 blocks to be right there by the bakery.
And they didn't have curb cuts.
They had curb cuts, but we couldn't get across the street.
Solution: put a crosswalk at the intersection.
Because this was something that when we planned this walkabout, Peggy and I just thought, all right, we'll have Courtney do one route and Dave do one route. And we were trying to decide who got to do the harder, more pushing route. But had they both shown up in electric chairs, which we didn't think about, neither one of them would have been able to do the longer walk. And they're going to talk about why, which was something I didn't realize.
There's a big difference in sidewalks and wheelchair. You can't. I mean, if I was in an electric, I'd be able to be slipping in the difference.
There were some pretty big holes where, since I was pushing, I was able to muscle around it. But once again, that's something I can do, but not everybody that's going to be pushing it.
No.
And in her electric chair, there'd be no way.
I would be dipping in those holes and flipped over.
And
Yeah.
Remember that one kind of scary one?
Oh, the curved dipped part. Yes.
Well, the curb wasn't completely flat. It was
No.
like 2 inches and then a drop off. And when Courtney's maneuvering her own wheelchair, and if she goes over a curb like that, it tilts her back a little bit. It just scares her. She's afraid.
Well, now tell him what you were telling me, and I didn't realize this. He loves fall, he loves looking at the leaves, but when you're in an electric chair, why is that an issue?
because you have to concentrate so much on the operation of the wheelchair. You can't look at things and see the beautiful, and see beautiful nature, the beautiful trees. You have to focus on the task at hand.
Hi, my name is Michelle and I'm from London. My new friends and I walked around Bloomington and we observed the following issues that we think that can do to improve the city that would be low cost and would make a big improvement fast. The first one is to adjust the crosswalk on Madison Street. As you can tell on Madison Street, the light was so short that we barely got across before it changed. We need to trim the bushes and trees so they don't block the sidewalks. I'm a person that has to look out for that. I wear braces on my legs. And with those bushes on the sidewalks, if I would happen to catch my foot on that, I could trip and fall. And we need to really work on that. The parking enforcement, the sidewalks, we need to make sure they're not blocked so that people can so we don't have to go out into the street to get around them. Because that's a very, very dangerous, especially when cars go so fast on the roads. We need to clean out the edges of truncated curbs. They are filled with leaves, dirt, things like that. It's another hazard for people either in wheelchairs or in my case with braces. People use canes, walkers. They could catch the leg of their walker on that and fall down. Not very safe. We need to repaint the crosswalks. Crosswalks are starting to fade and they need to be repainted so people know where to cross, the pedestrians. These are also issues that I can present to my hometown in Linton and to improve the accountability. I do want to thank you for listening to us today about our observations and our recommendations.